and I am here to give my opinion and discussion on a topic that was affecting me for the past 2 days. And just know I'm not speaking in behalf of the bottom titled screen person that I am speaking, but it kind of affected me in a huge way, which I have done my research, I have done a lot of reading, and I would like to give my opinion about the whole situation that is befalling at this point. So I really do apologize to everyone. I will be choosing my words very carefully. I will be putting words into perspectives. I will give my opinion the best that I can. And please don't, feel bad or be hurt on the things that I am going to be talking about, because this has a huge impact on me and a lot of people around the world. So just bear with me. I'm almost situated, and I will be talking about this whole topic. Hey Kimberly, how are you today? I'm glad that you can make it. Just give me a minute. I'm good in a way, a little affected by a situation, which is why I'm doing a live stream right now. As the title clearly states, what is going on. Did a lot of a lot of reading. I'm kind of affected by it. Even though that it shouldn't be, it hasn't happened to me, but it does affect me in a way, which is why I'm discussing this to a matter of people. Just gonna get a little situated right now, so just bear with me, please. Um, have a few people coming in right now. A little nervous, to be quite honest. Come on. Sometimes I hate my own phone. Well, you know what? Screw it. Well, I am, as the title clearly states on my screen, this is about the whole thing. Yeah, it kind of does, but they're speakers. It's just leaning because one of the spokes are broken. But to everybody that knows me, I'm Draconna. Everybody calls me Drac for short, or Mike. But there's been a situation that has been going around that's affecting a lot of people, and I too am affected by it. But instead of, bashing, normally I would be bashing people's heads over about the whole situation, which is befalling, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to pick the right words to say. I am not involved with the individual, Vic Mignogna, but I have grown up to a lot of his characters, such as Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, Broly from Dragon Ball, so on and so forth, Crow. But there's a lot of allegations going on about him being a homophobe and also sexual harassment and so on and so forth. Now, these are just my opinions. I'm not defending him or defending victims and defending people. These are just my opinions because I did a lot of research, a lot of reading before I'm starting to make this live video about the whole situation that is befalling. You have a gentleman that's been in the voiceover industry, for about 20 plus years. And his first voiceover was Vega from Street Fighter 2, excuse me. And he went on to hit major roles such as, like I said, Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, Broly. He's in the new movie Broly, video games, so on and so forth. And I wanted to touch base on things that were affecting me because honestly, it is unfair how the community looks at one side of the story but doesn't see the other side. And honestly, I think that's very hurtful. You have an allegation to a man that, with sexual harassment and homophobe. And I actually really hate that word, homophobe, to be honest. That's a very derogatory, in my experience of a lot of people, to the gay community, the rainbow community and everything. I think homophobe is a very derogatory word, but it's used to be placement on people that has something against gays. From experience that I know of, because I have a gay friend, he's really cool in my book. He moved to Florida a couple of years ago. We actually met Vic Mignogna together, and he was very, very, very open-hearted to my friend. There was a situation which had happened because my friend had a picture that his boyfriend drew of two individuals, with a romance, but they were male on male. Now, before I get to that story, rejecting to sign autographs of man on man or woman on woman fan art, that's up to the actors or the artists in order to sign, because many people do feel uncomfortable about it. Many people feel comfortable about it. Nobody can question your sexuality. But how dare you tell a man that he has to sign this, and then all of a sudden, if he doesn't sign it, it makes him feel some type of way that he's a homophobe. Like, he doesn't like the gay community, the rainbow community. It just goes to show how people can take that one word or take something so simple that they feel as though that he should sign it, and he should, but he didn't want to, and they make it seem like that he's a homophobe. Well, come to find out, isn't it deemed in all conventions stating that artists, actors, and actresses have the right to reject any merchandise to sign, he has every right to reject any type of merchandise that he wanted to sign. They have that right. But because of a whole thing that he, as I read, he told a specific fan that he does not sign stuff like that. It's not because it's derogatory, but it's due to the simple fact that it's not canon, and it's none of the characters that he has done. And if so forth, if it was a character that he done, he does not feel comfortable signing it due to the simple fact that it's not what the character was based about in the company. Basically, let's say, for example, Edward Elric was kissing Godzilla, and they're both boys romantically, and he just doesn't feel comfortable signing that. He'll sign anything else. He just doesn't feel comfortable. That's like saying you're gonna take Mickey Mouse seducing Donald as a picture and take it to Walt Disney and be like, "Here, Walt Disney, sign that." You know how much hate you're gonna get from Disney? Go ahead. Explain that to me. I'll wait. Because I guarantee you, that wouldn't be fair, because a lot of people does not have the audacity to go up to a Disney and tell them, "Look, here's my yaoi or yoi." I don't know how to pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong or incorrectly. I have a picture that I drew of Donald, romantically getting involved with Mickey Mouse. I would really love Walt Disney to sign that. Go ahead, I'll wait. And then you're gonna badmouth Walt Disney for not signing that, and you're gonna call Disney homophobe? So, in that term of that homophobe thing, y'all really not looking at both sides of the story on that. He did not want to do it, not because he's against the gay community or the rainbow community. He just feels kind of awkward of doing that. Do that to Walt Disney. Do that to any other major corporation that takes pride in their work. I guarantee you, a lot of people has respect for the gay community, has respect for the rainbow community, but to dictate on somebody for not signing a yoi fan art, you're gonna call him a homophobe? Honestly, that is very, very unfair. And on that note, I don't like taking sides. A lot of my friends know I don't take sides, but I will side with who's right and who's wrong. I will side with Vic Mignogna on that, because he doesn't have to be a homophobe not to sign anything, because he isn't. He just has certain things that he would love to sign, and there are aspects that he will not sign. So you have to take a look at both ends, not just one. All right, he didn't sign this, and now, now he's a homophobe. Do you understand? Did you put yourself in his situation? He has a lot of respect for what he does. He has a lot of respect for the company. He has a lot of respect for fans. I met the guy 8 times in person. He's a real stand-up guy. He treated my gay friend with respect. Heck, gave his boyfriend a free CD. Signed everything. Because he felt bad because he doesn't sign stuff like that. So for calling him a homophobe for not signing that, you're in the wrong. You really are in the wrong. And I bet that if any other gay community or the rainbow community that can actually respond to that, I guarantee you, they will say that's wrong for accusing him of being a homophobe just because he didn't want to sign that. He respects the artists. He respects the artwork. He just does not sign non-canon stuff. He just won't. I dare you to take that to a bunch of actors. There's a lot of actors out there that doesn't sign that. And he's coming from a mid-class voice acting, and he made one of the greatest anime movies of all time. Hell, it beat Aquaman. It smashed box office records. Why? He was one of the big three that made that movie. Broly made what, 7.8 million in one day? Aquaman only made what, 1.2? And you're bashing this man for being a homophobe. Yeah. You're bashing a guy that's been going high on a high rise for being something that he's not. You know, that's very inconsiderate. I'm just saying. Also, now with the whole sexual harassment thing, I feel as though that both parties are in the right and both parties are in the wrong. Due to the simple fact that doing a lot of reading, doing a lot of, fan video watching and everything, this has been going on since back in 2009, 2010. 2009, 2010, about the whole sexual harassment thing. Well, my thoughts on that are both are in the right and both are in the wrong. And I'm not taking it away from the victims. I really would never take it away from victims that felt so hurt or destructed by it. You know, they have every right to feel this way because probably it's because from their past or their mentality struck on it. Forgive me for saying this. I do humbly apologize. I'm not taking it away from you at all. But there are certain extents on how you can handle a situation while meeting fans and meeting your favorite actor or actress or artist. Is it a consent to give a hug or a kiss on the cheek or kiss on the forehead? I would have to highly agree that each actor or actress or artist or fan does need a consent, because some people may feel some type of way. Some people may feel very derogatory. Some people would welcome it. Vic Mignogna, he's a very loving guy. He opens his heart to his fans. I met him on 8 occasions. I brought my friends to meet him. Got a bunch of autographs. Couldn't wait to see the movie. I respected him since Broly. Broly's my favorite character. One of my 3 favorite characters in Dragon Ball. Broly's one of my favorite 3. And then with the new Broly movie that came out that smashed box records, and now he's being noticed, and then now back in 2010 when he was first accused, bringing it all the way right now, since he was part of one of the greatest Dragon Ball movies, and now it's hitting him hard. All these allegations hitting him 3 days after the movie came out. That's kind of weird in a way, due to the simple fact that now allegations are spurting up when his stardom is striking really high after the Broly movie. His past is becoming to haunt him. He is right now being banned from conventions. These are word of mouth of people, throwing a lot of hate to actors and actresses. Vic Mignogna is not the first one, nor would he be the last. I mean, you had Robin Williams that got it. You had Wesley Snipes that got it when he made Tu Wong Fu. John Leguizamo. There was a lot of hate thrown at a bunch of actors. But the problem is that he's a very loving person. Could he handle situations a different way? Yes. He could have waited for the fans to say, Vic, I love you so much. Can I please have a hug? Give him a hug. Hey, Vic, I love you so much. Can I please have a kiss on the cheek? Okay. If he's comfortable with it, give him a kiss on the cheek. I think that's where, on the lines, that he messed up. And I side with that, with the people. I side with that. He should be asked. Or he could ask the fan. Do you mind if I give you a hug? I really love the fact that my character did this for you and everything. No, that's not a problem. It really isn't. So, you see my whole thing. Both are in the right and both are in the wrong. If he's hugging 100 200 people, and then there's that one person within that 100 to 200 people. That one person is just like, he hugged me some type of way, and I feel some type of way about that. You could have opened your mouth and said, "Excuse me, Vic, no disrespect, but I don't do hugs." You could have stopped them, which you didn't. That's where I say the fans or the people that did that were wrong. They could have stopped it as well. So you're accusing people of doing things that doesn't need to be done, and you hurt them like that. And then on top of that, you hurt the victims that actually had to go through that in life. For example, you had people that have been molested since they were kids, you know, and then all of a sudden stuff is bringing up like that. That's how actors and actresses and artists, they lose a lot of fans because of a lot of hate mail that's going around. I understand the situation, and honestly, I agree that Vic Mignogna could have handled a lot of things differently in that sexual harassment thing. He could have handled a lot of things differently. But the fans could have also handled things a lot differently too. So, like I said, both are in the right and both are in the wrong. I feel as though that people shouldn't be constructing other people's forte on how they handle situations. And he actually did a live apology. He did a live apology, and honestly, I felt it, and I believe him. It's gonna take time, but I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna forgive him right on the spot. But he deserves a second chance to redeem himself, to not just to the fans, but to the people that actually has been going through the same situation that he's being accused of. So, like I said, if you were a victim, any sort of sexual harassment or hurt by people with other situations, like I said, I do apologize for all that. It's not my intention to go against you, and I will never ever go against you. It's a hard thing to go through. Trust me, I have a lot of friends that went through that. Well, that I can't give you a honest answer on, due to the simple fact that if hate mail is going around, a lot of people are going to follow up on that because they will protect the victims. I'm not saying that his colleagues are not going to protect him or his colleagues are going to protect him, but like I said, if they're not going to back him up, there might be a huge reason why. There might be another reason why. We don't know. I don't know. Like I said, the first accusation was found back in 2009, 2010. So maybe there was some truth to that. And that's why I say that I'm not siding with him, but I'm not siding with the fans as well. I'm just stating my opinions. Both were in the right and both were in the wrong. There's a lot of stuff that Vic Mignogna has to make up for, and he openly admitted that he does have to make up. Well, maybe there might be truth. We don't know. Maybe this whole allegation was back in 2009. It's repeating himself. Maybe because it could be jealousy, like it happened to Robin Williams. He was one of the favorite comedians, and he got accused of so much stuff that was voluntarily untrue. And nobody backed him up. It could be happening to him. Ever since the Broly movie, skyrocketed with all this stuff. Merchandise, the movie, the scene, the major scene roles that he's going to be getting in upcoming Dragon Ball Super episodes, if he makes it that far, because he already got fired from Rooster Teeth, and right now Funimations will not disclose anything about what they're going to do or any type of information on how they feel about the subject with Vic. So, if no actors would back him up on that, that's their purgatory. That's on them. I can't speak for them. All I'm just speaking of what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, and what I'm seeing. These are just my opinions. I'm not siding with anybody. Again. So, I'm not defending him. The only one thing that I will defend, which Vic Mignogna is right on, is that whole homophobe thing. He's 100% in the right. You know, you're accusing a man that because he didn't want to sign no Yoit merchandise, he'll sign everything else, but he does not feel comfortable signing Yoit. It's just like saying, like I told you, do that with Walt Disney. I guarantee you're gonna get the same thing. Even worse, maybe. So with that being said, these are just my opinions. Like, if the actors wanted to back him up, they will back him up. If the actors don't want to back him up because they don't want to get involved, maybe that's another reason why. They just don't want to get involved. Nobody knows. But all I'm saying is, the man deserves a chance to redeem himself. You know, there's no proven case that it is 100% accurate that he was doing that, and then send him to court. Then I would shut up. This whole string would not happen if he got proven guilty. If he went through the judicial system and got proven guilty, I would have been like, oh wow, you know, I actually looked up to this guy. But there was no judicial system. These are all accusations that's being befalled upon him from years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, right when he was part of one of the greatest movies, all these accusations are building up on him 3 days after the movie. After the movie did so well, not even Battle of the Gods, nor Resurrection F touched the mark that the movie Broly did. It didn't. So, which is why I say, like, I'm not driving off and I'm not protecting him on the whole sexual harassment thing unless it's proved by the judicial system and proof that there was a lot of controversy of that. Then that's a different story. But all I can see and say is what I'm reading and what I'm hearing. Exactly. I agree with Kimberly Daniels right there. I highly agree with that. Because they don't want their victims, they don't want their fan victims that's been victimized on certain situations like that happening. You know, people get hurt. People, it lives in people's minds. It scars them for life. But those people have been through, a lot of those people has been through the judicial system and been proven that had happened. These are only accusations that's being befalled upon a certain actor. And honestly, if you go in and you see it, no, I'm not siding with Vic. I just don't like the fact that he was accused before, back in 2009 and 2010. I give you my word, I'm not siding with him. I just feel as though that he's getting bashed. He knows what he did. He hugged people and they felt some type of way. He was wrong on that. I'm siding with the victims on that. He was really wrong. He could have asked, oh, you want a hug? Oh, you want a kiss on the cheek? Oh, you want a kiss on the forehead? He could have asked. He's really wrong on that. But fans are too, because if they see him go up to him, they could have stopped him too. So basically, it's both at fault. But the victims that actually went through that, and now it's coming all back at hand, you know, I feel hurt by that. I feel hurt for them to have to go through that. like I said, I'm trying to choose my words very carefully. I'm just really hurt and upset with the fact that people go through this lifestyle every day, and there are some people that had it a lot worse. And some people can be innocent, some people can be wrong, and the victims out there, I honestly have to say that they have every right to speak their mind in terms of even if it was being late. But I'm talking about fans that's piling on top and piling on top that had nothing to do with it. This is what I mean. Fans that's actually piling on top because a lot of hatred and everything going on. This should be between the victim's family, and the person being accused. I believe that this should be taken into the judicial system and go on from there. Because then we would definitely know what is going on. Because honestly, I just think a lot of people are just throwing a lot of hate, adding wood to the fire, adding oil, gasoline to the fire, and just blowing this whole thing up. He openly stated that he apologizes. He apologized to everybody, even to his fans, even to the people that he had hurt. Oh. Well, that's exactly, and honestly, I actually agree. It's a hurtful thing that he got fired from Rooster Teeth. But like I said, if they feel as though that these allegations are true, they I don't know how to put that into words. Well, if she knows them, like I said, I'm not taking it away from the victims. If she knows the victim that was personally sexually harassed by Vic, then you know what? Like I said, that's between the victims and Vic. Take it to the judicial system, let it go from there. Because then we have a better understanding on a huge thing, on a huge note, what's been going on. I just don't like fans that's not a part of that bashing, going towards people that saying, oh, this is all BS, he didn't really do that, to people saying, oh, well, he did do that, he did do this. That's where I'm getting with this whole thing. This should be between the victim and Vic. Monica, if she knew these people, then she could be a part of that whole judicial system. Honestly, because if there is a wrong what he did, and he openly admit that he shouldn't be very huggy or very kissy, and he did openly admit that, then you know what? He apologized. He's gotten banned and kicked from a lot of Comic-Cons, a lot of conventions. He's got fired from Rooster Teeth. So, there are going to be consequences on his part. They are. And you know what? As bad as I might feel of him getting released from Rooster Teeth, honestly, it's a price that has to be paid. It does. He might not be doing voice acting anymore. Who knows? But like I said, this all debates on fan traversity, fans attacking fans, and fans attacking him, and other fans attacking the other people. That's why I'm making this video, is against the fans. Nothing against the victims, nothing against Vic, but y'all just really need to chill because we don't have the entire story. Like I said, take it to the judicial system where we all have a better understanding of what the heck is going on. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can agree with it. Y'all don't have to agree with it. All I'm just saying, both parties are in the right, both parties in the wrong. One thing that I will side with that homophobe thing, I've been reading a lot about it, going through backwards and forwards, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Comes to find out, there's nothing wrong of him not wanting to sign Yoi fan art. If he didn't want to, he doesn't have to. It clearly states in every convention, an actor, actress, or artist has the right to refuse of signing any merchandises. They have that right. So you're gonna fault them for that? But with the whole harassment, I think this needs to be taken up with the victims and the judicial system. It really does. The whole controversy with fans attacking fans, that's something that needs to stop. Because honestly, we don't know the entire story. We don't know what the heck is going on. We're just getting bits of information. Vic's colleagues, other voice actors that worked with Vic, they didn't back him up, but they're also not protecting themselves either. They just don't want to be a part of it. The only person that is doing it is Monica. Monica says that she knows victims, so she could be part of that. I don't know. Nobody knows. She could be part of that judicial system if she had to. But let it go to the judicial system. I know that people don't want to see that. I know a lot of people don't want to go through that, but it's the only way to put some closure to everything. Throwing hate mail at each other with fans, that's something that I don't agree with. So like I said, I'm not choosing Vic's side. I'm not choosing victim sides. That shit has to go through judicial. I'm just over here sticking out from fans attacking fans. That's what I mainly am trying to put an argument on. Like I said, Kim, I done research from since 2009. Yes, it has happened a bunch of times. It has, and it does need to stop. That's why I say it's between the victims and it's between Vic. This needs to go to the judicial system where there's closure. There has to be closure to this. Nobody's saying that he's wrong for doing what he did. He is wrong. 100% wrong. but the problem is that, like I said, the victims and the person that's being accused, this needs to go through a judicial system and, go through there, get everything, and have closure. Fans shouldn't be attacking fans on debating, what's right, what's wrong. Does people, he didn't really do that, this is just all spontaneous, or they really didn't say that, or he really did. That's what I'm trying to say. Y'all just need to back off and chill with a lot of the hate mail. If the judicial system feel as though that he is 100% in the wrong and should be banned from all conventions or whatnot, then I agree. Then he was 100% wrong. Even though that he is still wrong for doing the things that he did. But like I said, this has to be closure between him and the victims. Not the fans versus the fans. That's all I'm trying to get at. Like I said, I don't mean to offend anybody. These are just my opinions. I'm trying my best to choose my words very carefully. I do apologize in advance if I offended you. I really don't mean to offend you in any shape or form. I love everybody equally. I just feel as though that this whole thing is being ridiculous between fans. Fans attacking fans for no apparent reason. When he was in the wrong, they were in the wrong, and they're bashing at each other. It's nonsense. This needs to go through a judicial system between the victims and Vic Mignogna. That's all I'm saying. I just want to know if y'all agree with that. Should this go through a judicial system where everybody has closure? That's all I'm trying to say. I just, what really got me very upset was that homophobe and sexual harassment were the two things that really got me upset about this all. And knowing the fact that this has been brought up years ago and still being continuously done, something has to give. And like I said, it should be all through judicial system. He has to change as a person. He has to change his ways as an actor. And people really need to stop putting their 2 cents in if they weren't part of it. If you weren't part of it, and you're not a victim, like you never met Vic Mignogna and you're bashing him, that's not right. You weren't there. But the fact of the matter is, Vic was wrong. Vic was 100% in the wrong with that. He should have handled stuff differently with his hugging and his kissing, because me kissing, if that guy kissed my girl, I would have been pissed. I would have definitely been pissed. Thank you. I would have been pissed. Hugging, I don't mind hugging. I just don't like hugging people like I just met the very first day. I don't hug. If I've known you for a while, yeah, I'll give you a hug, but I don't hug people the very first time I meet them. So, like I said, it was his fault that he did get up. He did hug people. A lot of people didn't mind it, but some people did. And all of a sudden, like, there was like more allegations spilled in the past. And honestly, I don't know a lot about those allegations. But if this is a reoccurring thing, then like I said, it has to go through a judicial system. It really does. Because then that way we all have closure. The fans could rest easy. The victims could start setting their minds and start, gradually growing from the bad habits and the bad experience that happened to them. It's very unfair that they had to go through this. Very, very unfair. But take it to the judicial system and have everything sorted out there. Because this is nonsense. It really is. Not only are you hurting actors and colleagues, you're actually hurting the victims as well. Putting more on top of their table. You're ashamed for doing this to her and him. Oh, well, he did apologize, and he knows that he did wrong, so you're doing all this to him or her. You're just putting bad memories into the victims' heads. Like, come on. Stop. Let it get sorted out through them. Stop adding more wood and more gasoline to the fucking fire. It's not fair. It's not fun at all. But that's all I have to say about this. Again, I really, really do apologize if my opinions excuse me, if my opinion affected you or you feel some type of way about it all. This is just what I'm reading and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. There may be a lot more. I'm not 100. Like I said, I did a lot of reading, there might be a whole lot more that I'm missing. But as of right now, what I got on both sides are in the wrong. Both sides are in the right. But for the victims, honestly, they really need to take this and speak up a lot more and take it to a judicial system and get this thing done with. Because then that's how you can progress to move on. That's where the moving on starts. If this has been an ongoing thing, take it to the judicial system. That's all I'm saying. Enough with the hate on hate, please, because It ain't right. Another topic I want to come up with, which I think he was actually in the wrong, which I'm kind of upset about, was the whole Holocaust thing. He made a reference joke, but he says it was only used as a metaphor. But still, you don't use stuff like that as a metaphor with the Holocaust. You really, really don't. There was an incident that happened at a convention. I believe it was a couple of months back. He used a word. I think a couple of friends were getting loud outside, and he made a reference joke about something, the Holocaust. Honestly, I think... Hello, Anthony. Honestly, I believe that was 100% his fault. He should have had brought stuff up like that. That's unexcusable. I think he was 100% in the wrong for making a joke like that. He did state that he could that he only used it as a metaphor, but if he did offend a lot of people, he is humbly sorry about it. Which, okay, he admitted that he did say it. Just build on that apology from there, and work at how do you say it? Work up being honest, work up being true to who you are, and work up on that apology that you had just stated. You know, choose your words very carefully. Choose your words very, very carefully next time. So let everybody in the world, we say the darndest things. We say a lot of racial things and whatnot, but honestly, that was kind of hurtful. He did openly admit it, and he just needs to build up trust again with not just himself, but with the fans as well, with his family, with his co-workers. I agree, JLH. I really agree. That which is right now, he really needs to focus on things that he needs to say. I mean, he needs to think about before he says it. He really, really does. I 100% agree with that. And that's why he is at fault with that whole commentary of the Holocaust. He is at fault. There's no way. Like, if somebody joked about the 9/11 thing happening, I would have been pissed. I would have been really pissed. You know, there are ways of handling things and way of saying things that you need to pump the brakes on. He made a jokingly metaphor on that. A lot of people. If I was there, I would take that very offending. I'd very much take that offending. I wasn't part of it, but it was part of our history, and it was never a good one. So, like I said, with the whole Rooster Teeth and everything, there's not much I could say about that. I mean, I feel bad that he did get fired from there, but every action has its consequences. This spurred up, they're not going to take the chance. Maybe if he does get some sort of help or through the judicial system that happens or whatnot, then this could actually build up more. Or it could just be let go and just leave it where it's at on the ground. But I'm just tired of seeing people bash one another and bashing people, because not only are you bashing each other for no apparent reason, but you're putting a lot of stress on the victims. You really are putting a lot of stress on the victims. You really, really are. So that's my argument about that. I just don't like when people are adding fuel to the fire, saying, oh, well, yeah, he did this to me, he did that to me. But you weren't even at the convention when he did that. How can he do something to you and you weren't in the convention? You're just trying to add more fuel to the fire. If these people, like I said, came out and stated that he did do this, they have to take this all to the judicial system, and people need to stop antagonizing everything. Stop saying, oh, well, yeah, he did this to me. Oh, I met Vic. He was never like that to me. Oh, well, I met him. He was groping me. But most of the comments that people are getting and putting out there, they weren't even in the conventions. Or if they were, and then all of a sudden they had hate for the actor, like, oh, I don't like him. I don't think he's a great actor. And then you're going to add more fuel to the fire. No, I agree. But that's what I'm trying to say is just like, we all need to stop adding fuel to the fire. If we weren't part of it, if we found that it was messed up, we could be heard like, yo, Vic, I think it was really wrong what you did to your fans. Or did to these people that are saying that you did this. That's okay, but don't say that he did do something and you weren't there, or you just don't like the actor. That's where I'm getting at with this whole thing. It just needs to stop. They're in the right, but then they're in the wrong. It's great that you're defending them, but it's wrong the way you're doing it. It's really wrong the way you're doing it. Just like he's wrong for doing what he did. But the fans could have stopped. They didn't. He's not attacking people. He's not saying anything hateful. He owned up to what he did. And it's been going on for years. And honestly, if anything's to give in, like I said, and I said this so many times, I'm going to say it last time, this all has to be gone through the judicial system. That's it. That's where I leave it at. If he did do it, then you know what? That's closure. If he didn't do it, that's closure too. But he did openly admit that he was a very huggy person. He hugged a lot of people. 100 people, 200 people loved the hugs. But then there was always that one person within the 200 people that didn't approve of it. But they could have said something. And he should have stopped himself. So that's what I'm saying. Both our collisions are right and wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. And with the whole fan base going around, you're not making it easier for the victims. You're actually hurting them a whole lot more. So if I had to side with anybody, I'd actually side with the victims, not with between the fans and Vic Mignogna and the fans going against the fans. That's where I draw the line, and that's where both the fans are right and wrong, and he is right and wrong. I can't take it away from the victims. The victims are the people that actually went through that. They need to be heard. Right now they're being heard, and this is like 3 days after the whole Broly movie, and he's getting a lot of notice. Now they're finally coming out to say it, or people are just like, spreading, coming out and attacking him with it. It just doesn't feel right at all. It really doesn't, and it's not cool that the victims are suffering a lot more because of this. It's really unfair to them. It really is. So with that being said, I just, give me a minute. I just don't like this hate and animosity going on, and it brings up a lot of painful memories that what I went through and what I know friends of mine went through with all this stuff. Just please, I hope that they could take this into enlightenment and take it through the judicial system where we all have closure to this, because honestly, it's not fun, and all this hate going on, it's just not right. It's not fair for the victims and for the community. It just really isn't. That's all I have to say about that. Um, yeah. But that's the thing, Lugia. This has been an ongoing thing for the past since 2009, 2010, and he was accused several times. You know, he just he is wrong. He is really wrong. But the fans, I that's another thing that I do agree with you. The fans shouldn't be getting involved in that if they don't know what the whole story is. The victims hasn't come out, but a lot of accusations are being thrown at him. He owned up to it. He openly admittedly and apologized for it. And a lot of fans, they're just bashing each other. Fans are bashing fans. That's it's just not fair. You're just making it harder on the victims. You're making it harder on the victims, and you're making it harder on people around you, and people that hasn't been through this. You're making it harder for them as well. That has been through similarities of what's going on right now. Even worse. Hell, I know two people in here that's been through so much pain. But with stuff going on like this, you're making it harder for them to move on from that pain, and then it builds up so much anger, builds so much hatred. You know, it doesn't need to be that way. Y'all, we all just need to calm the fuck down, excuse my language, and let the judicial system take care of everything. Because honestly, that's the only thing anything is ever going to get solved. Not bashing one another. It's childish. It's stupid. So with that being said, those are my opinions. Those are my thoughts. I really appreciate people that came in here to hear me out, hear my opinions. Like I said, I'm not here to side with people. I just side what is right. I just think that one, stop with the whole homophobe thing if one person didn't want to do anything, because that's not cool. Exactly. I agree with Anthony on that. It just needs to stop. People make mistakes. You either learn from it or you're going to get punished for it. He learned. He may get punished. I believe there is punishment to be required. Like, he got fired from Rooster Teeth. Fans like me feel as though that it's unfair, but you know what? That's the consequence. Stuff like that is going to happen. So take it like you could get it. You got, and right now, Funimation's not releasing anything about what they're gonna do, or they're not initiating any type of commentary on the whole accusations on what's going on. So with that being said, it's just like there's still decisions that needs to be made. Do I believe that he's been punished enough? That's not my say. Like I said, it depends on the judicial system and the victims. Because honestly, they're the ones that words mean more in this type of situation. You can't defend him for what he had done, and you can't defend them for what they're going through. Because honestly, you're making it hard on both parties, and nothing's ever going to get solved. That's all I'm saying. And that's why I feel so heartbroken that the victims are feeling even more hurt on what is going on. But then all of a sudden you have a lot of people that oppresses that, and it's just not fair. It just really isn't. Where? Yeah, I agree. So, with that being said, everybody, I just want to thank everyone for their time to hear my opinions out. If if my opinions offend anybody, I really do apologize. If you need a little more enlightenment on what I'm talking about, I'm a little choked up at the moment because I just had it with this hate stuff that's going around. I really do. I feel for both parties. I feel for the person being accused and for the victims that's going through. I feel bad for both parties. Um and the accused one is with the whole homophobe thing. He's being accused for something that he shouldn't be accused of. But with the whole sexual harassment thing and everything, I think that's a pretty big deal. But this needs to be discussed with the victims, not the fans. Fans, too much hate mail going back and forth, back and forth. It's not fair. Nothing's gonna get solved. You're just like I said, you're just adding gasoline to the fire. We have our right to say it. He has his right to say it. They have their right to say it. So, like I said, both parties are in the right and in the wrong. It's the victim's words that should matter. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope it all makes sense. So I do apologize if you feel as though that I'm taking one side over another, because I'm not. I'm just taking this as fans needs to chill the hell out and let the victims and the accused go through the whole judicial system and have this thing squared away, because bashing each other gets us nowhere. It really doesn't. Um, Again, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry if, like I said, if I offended people. I'm just tired of hearing some of my friends that's been through this situation and had a couple of talks with them. It's a very hurtful thing. It very much is. So with that being said, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming through. Just let's just please stop this whole bashing each other and let everything roll into its own place. If he gets fired, he gets fired. If he gets let go, he gets let go of all the stuff. But like I said, it's a punishment that he has to face. And for the victims, they can actually finally move on. They can have closure. This is not helping. It really isn't. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you for coming. Take care. Be safe. Live free, game hard, or it's game over. Take care.